What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome to the Cloud Gaming Extreme channel. So we are officially kicking off the first podcast episode of the CGX is what we're going to call it, CGX podcast episode 1. And I have some awesome people here who I'm going to be introducing pretty soon. We thought it would be a good idea to have a panel of people who are passionate about cloud gaming in general, right? So people who like Stadia, Shadow, Xcloud, and Geforce Now, not just geared towards a specific platform or service. So you're gonna get to hear news and discussions based on all of these awesome guys on this panel. So we're going to get started with just that's what this podcast is about. So just an explanation. We're going to cover cloud gaming as a whole here. So again, GeForce Now, Google Stadia, Shadow, xCloud, and we're going to talk about news. We're going to talk about discussions, and we're going to get everyone's take on here. So that's pretty much what this is. So to get started, I'm just going to introduce the members of this panel. You guys know me here as Ace. Just to give you guys a heads up, we possibly are going to be adding even more people to this panel, and we are also going to have guests eventually as well. So it's going to be pretty cool. Again, getting different people's perspective and opinion when it comes to cloud gaming. So to my right, I have Ben. Can you tell us more about you?
My name is Ben. I'm based out of the Denver area, so love the mountains and everything out here. I basically got into cloud gaming back in February when GeForce Now came out of beta and went out to the public, and then got Stadia in March, and that was after about a 17-year hiatus, not playing any video games at all. So I kind of dove back in head first.
Nice. Nice. Cool. Well, welcome to the panel, Ben. All right, to my right below me, we have this is kind of like a name reveal. We were talking about this earlier, but this he is Game Tech Planet. You guys know him as a YouTuber, but it sounds like for the first time he's gonna reveal his official name on this podcast. So go ahead.
Oh man, you're gonna make me do it. Yep, I am Jerry from Game Tech Planet, and
Right.
very similar to Ben. As far as the cloud part of my channel and my gaming comes, that was started in basically February as well when GeForce Now came out of beta, and I kind of dove headfirst into that stuff. But I mostly had started my channel for testing PCs and games and all that kind of stuff. But cloud gaming just fits right into the whole building PCs and console gaming and comparing those and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what I'm into. And I am from the East Coast Jersey area. So
Nice.
that's where I hail from.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Jared, it's good to have you on here for sure. All right, to my bottom left, we have Mr. Holtz. What's going on, sir? Introduce yourself.
Hello. My name's, use my gamer tag Holtz, and I've been a cloud gaming enthusiast for about 11 years now, since Microsoft and Google came to my university and proposed home automation and cloud services. So they came in and showed us what the future could be with smart devices and proposed the idea of cloud gaming. And back then I was like, wow, this is the future. Then
How long ago was that?
11 years.
Are you serious? Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it was only a proposal, but it was like it was so sci-fi. And
that's crazy.
we've got all the smart devices, and we've got all like the services they proposed there. And then it was 2 years after that, Sony bought Gaikai.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's here, it's ready. And then when they when they brought, and my first introduction to cloud gaming was PlayStation Now, which, to be fair, the entry price and the lackluster games, it wasn't very interesting to me.
Right.
So when Google proposed that they were bringing their own cloud service out, I was like, yes. And then when Microsoft said that Xcloud was coming, I was like, the future's finally here. So playing some of the betas and getting access to them, it really did surprise me how well they run for me.
Nice. Yeah. Good. Thank you again, host, for being here and just letting people know what you're all about. And we're gonna get right into the next segment. Want to know what games are you guys currently playing right now? I'm gonna start with you over there, Ben.
And I've been kind of juggling all the pro games the last couple of days, trying to get things up or just get caught up for this. Mainly, I've been spending a lot of time on Assassin's Creed over on Stadia.
Right.
And then kind of playing some of the classics that I missed out on during my hiatus. So on Shadow, I've been playing Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas, some of the good ones from the last 5 to 10 years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How about you, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's been tough to have a lot of time for gaming because when you start new channels and everything, it's like nose to the grind, busy trying to get videos out and get everything learned that you need to learn. But as far as like Shadow and Geforce Now and stuff, to be honest, I've been playing a lot of Maneater. I'm a huge Shark fan. I love Shark Week and all that kind of stuff. So, and since they didn't release with cloud saves, but then they added them a week later. So I was able to then play the same game on Geforce Now, Shadow, or any of my PCs at the house. So it's been nice for me to jump into that and play when I'm not doing videos. Besides that, it's a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So
what are you playing? I guess Shadow is what you're playing Modern Warfare on?
I'll do between Shadow if I'm on like my laptop or my older PC. If I'm on my main rig like I am now, then I play locally here with G-Sync and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, fun. That's awesome. How about you, Holtz? What are you playing?
So I've just finished season 3 of Grid, ready for. I'm going to move it out the way so I can focus on Formula One, and getting through Assassin's Creed Odyssey, ready for the fall to move on to the next one. And I've been playing ESO, Elder Scrolls Online. So I don't have much time to dive in, but having those small play sessions per week has been adding up. So I've been getting through such.
So how many hours have you guys? It sounds like Ben and Holtz, y'all have been playing Assassin's. How many hours do you guys have in Assassin's Creed?
I don't even know. I'm probably still in 30 to 40 hours.
I'm about 40 hours, and I think about 10, 15 hours left.
Well, I got like 130 hours. It's an amazing game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is so good.
Yeah,
it's not a surprise you guys are playing it. Yeah, I can't wait for Valhalla. Like, definitely, it's going to be awesome.
Do you guys feel like you're making progress? Do you guys? I heard the end. This a long game, right? So when do you know, like, if you're close to beating it?
It takes about 60 hours to do the normal story without all the side missions and DLC.
Okay.
Yeah,
and with me, I've been avoiding side missions because some of them aren't very interesting. So I've just been progressing up to that I can do for the level. So I know that 60 hours roughly finish the main story. So.
Oh man, I've been distracted by so many of the side quests that it's just
there's so much to do. Really, there's just a ton.
So
if you
much
get distracted. Even the boat battle is really good in that. The boat fights and using your ship to get around is really fun in that game too.
Right.
But I've played so many Assassin's Creed and so many open world games. I'm just broke from doing side quests. So,
Did you play The Witcher?
I put 200 hours into The Witcher
3. It's a great game. Yeah. I'm having a hard time. I love The Witcher because of the story, and I'm having a hard time with Assassin's Creed Odyssey stories. Just not getting me as much as The Witcher did story-wise, but gameplay-wise, it's really fun though. That's cool. That is cool. All right, so we're gonna get into just news, right? For Google Stadia, I feel like we have a lot to talk about. And so we're just going to get straight into the games that was released today, July 1st. It's about 4 games and also Stealth Drop. Just want to know the games are Crayta. Of course, you guys know everyone and your mother has been covering that game lately, right? West of Loden, SteamWorld Dig, Monster Boy. So out of all those games, what games are you guys playing? What games are you guys excited about with these releases?
I mean, with Crayta, obviously there's so much excitement about that because it's so unusual.
Hmm.
Um, honestly, the one I was most excited for was West of Loathing because I played a lot of Kingdom of Loathing back in the day, what 15 years ago, whenever it was out.
Right.
And that game was awesome. I spent so much time just laughing up the storm in the dorm in the middle of the night, and so that West of Loathing is really getting my attention almost as much as Crayta at this point.
That's awesome. Did you put in enough, like a lot of time in Crayta?
I've only got about an hour in so
An
far.
hour? Okay. Okay. Overall opinion on it. So sorry, overall opinion, Ben, on Crayta so far.
Man, I went in to help Owen with trying to fix his world or finish it off, and it was just so confusing. I just need to spend a lot more time learning how to use all the tools in it.
Right. Right. Okay. Cool. Holds. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, it's why I dived into Crayta, and I'm a bit overwhelmed because you get this idea that you're going to start creating. Like, yes, I've
Yeah.
got these ideas, and then
Yeah.
trying to put like on all the syntax and get all your variables right, that you're like, it's not working as I planned.
Yeah.
So
Did you?
hopefully?
I'm sorry. I'm just curious. Since you were talking about Crayta, did any of you guys play Spark? It was on
No.
Xbox. It was a game within a game. You create. It's the same idea. You created games in that game. They shut it down, which was a shame. But it had thousands upon thousands of people in there playing games and making games. And it was the first kind of game like that where you could make and play games. And it was very similar to where I had a bunch of ideas and I would go in to create them. And sometimes I would pull off some of it, but most of the time it was more difficult. So I spent all my time playing other people's games. And I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do in Crayta as well.
Yeah.
But it has state share, so I'll be able to jump into other things there. But I don't think I'll have the time to actually create games as much as I will try everybody else's out.
Right.
My talent comes from Little Big Planet and Mayonika. That's as far as I can get. And I even broke them games. You press play and the whole level fell apart. So I'll design something and create it, it'll just fall apart.
Man, I tell you what, one of the coolest features I discovered with that game today is just Jerry, you mentioned the state share. Not even having to send a link. If I want to go play with UAce or with Sonny or whoever, like I can just click join game from the Crayta friends list, and just join them wherever they're at in whichever world or game.
Yeah,
and that's pretty awesome.
I'm more excited for state share for more games than I am Crayta personally. Like I will play Crayta and stuff, but I'm more interested in that feature for more games than anything else, especially on Stadia.
Right. Me too.
Right. Man, my experience, I mean, we were Chief, the partner, and myself, we got early access. So we've been playing it for quite some time. And it's really impressive to see what people were able to create in that game. And I think there's a lot of creative people out there. So we're excited to see, what the community comes up with. But who was it? I was talking to someone early and they were saying the game is fun as a whole, but it's really broken, right? So I feel like, there needs to be some work to be done, but overall it has a lot of potential. And I think it's a good get for Stadia. I'm excited to see I'm excited to see how they support this game, right? Is this a game that's going to die off in a month, right? Or are they going to keep adding stuff? Are they going to keep it free for pro members? That's another thing to see as well. But so far, I think it's a good exclusive. I'm just interested to see where they take it from here on out. But state share feature, sharing link, it's awesome. I was watching the devs at 12 a.m. when it released, and they posted the link, and I was able to just click it in and join the game. So that is pretty incredible so far for sure. It's pretty cool. What other games have you guys tried out of the four?
I've tried with the younger family members. We've played Monster Boy, so we like all that. We like all that platform, like Rayman or Kirby that they've played. So it was quite simple for them to pick up and play. So that was quite enjoyable. the like first hour or so they put in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've not looked at the other ones yet.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, Ben? Any others apart from?
I was actually pretty excited about SteamWorld as well. All those
Mm-hmm.
SteamWorld games that they've had on Pro.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're so dumb, but I've spent so many hours on them.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun just to chill and not have to worry about it
Yeah.
and just relax and not
Right.
overthink it.
I
Right.
don't know why they brought one out after two. They should have brought the first one out for Pro first and then
Yeah.
the second one, so you can just
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah, they went backward.
So I think they did that with Tomb Raider too, from what I remember. I might be
Yeah.
wrong.
I think it was
but-
Shadow first, and then we got Rise
Right.
of it. Yeah.
Right. I don't know why they do that, but yeah, SteamWorld, man, it's one of those games that honestly I probably would have never touched, right, if it wasn't a pro game. But just being able to play it for free, man, I'm hooked. I'm hooked, especially the second one when we got that. Man, I spent a lot of time on that.
I
So
put
good.
probably 20, 30 hours on that one.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. So a game that a lot of people has talked about, like it being the highlight of, well, there's a lot of good games with all these four games, but West of Loden, I haven't touched this game personally, but a lot of people have been saying a lot of positive, good things about it. Just want to know, have any of you guys tried it? If so, what's your take on it?
I played it for about 30 minutes last night before bed, just to kind of relive all the old days from their original game that they had.
Right.
Kingdom of Loathing. It's still live online if you look it up, but it's been up for 10, 15 years now.
Wow. So is this a sequel to it, or
It's kind of a spin-off of it.
okay,
The Kingdom of Loathing was more of a medieval time kind of theme to it, and West of Loathing is more Western.
okay,
But the concept is
Interesting.
very similar.
Interesting. Okay. So anyone just West of London, and anyone else take on that in on the panel?
I've never tried it. I do remember a long time ago Kingdom, but not West of.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot tonight after this podcast. Actually, again, heard some really good stuff about it. So,
Be prepared to read.
really a lot
You
of
don't-
dialogue.
Yeah, that's 90% of the fun is just the
Oh, that's
banter in
not
it.
fun.
We'll have instant access to it. I'm
Takes
going
some-
to dive instant access to it. I'm going to have a try of it because there's no reason not to. There's no download, so it'd be a shame to claim and not try.
True. Yeah,
Oh.
for sure. There was a stealth drop that was announced yesterday, right? Just shapes and beats. Y'all get to play that? What are your thoughts? I know Sunny and Cloud Gaming X covered it, but I personally haven't played it. But just want to know, anyone in this panel get a chance to take a look at that?
Man, I was so close to pulling the trigger and buying it, but I have a strong feeling it's going to be a pro game in about 2 or 3 months.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
With some of those games, you can just tell they're probably going to be a pro game soon. You're like, I might wait.
Yeah.
So for the full price, I'm like, yeah, retro dance music and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But at the price, you just say, yeah, I'll wait, which is a shame. It's a shame that we all say that.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, a game that that I would be surprised if it's not next month or the month after. It's Wave Break, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? From what I'm hearing, I forgot where I read this, maybe in Reddit, but they were saying the game didn't sell as much as, or it didn't move as much as the devs were hoping for it to move. And we kind of saw that with Get Packed, right? When the game came out, there's a lot of hype for it. Came out, I don't think it moved the way the devs was expecting to move. And then we saw this pro game, 2 months after or a month after, can't remember. But I think Wave Break might be one of those games as well. And same thing with just shapes and beats. So I would say save you. The other things you guys can, Google has a pretty decent return policy, right? So you can try it. you don't like it, not saying you should, but if you really want to play it, you have that route to go with it for sure. But yeah, cool. Go
So
ahead.
with Wave Break, you know, the thing too is they came out of the free pro, and a lot of people, unfortunately, Stadia still doesn't have a huge player base. It's something I run into because I do use Stadia to play Destiny 2 quite often because of the cloud save, like the cross-platform save, so I can jump on my whatever I want. But there's like, you can't get a Crucible match. Like you can't, like during the pro months you could, but now again it's difficult again. So I don't think there's a lot of people that are trying to grab games like Wave Break on there because they're still building a loyal player base to buy the games. But yeah, it'll probably be free soon. I actually liked it though. Just for the price that it was and the game that it was. It made me feel a little bit old school, like, you know, Wave Race, Tony Hawk kind of 1080 snowboarding. I don't know. It mixed a lot of things together. And, you know, I had to remember how to grind again, but, you know, it wasn't too bad.
These days, grind means totally different level grind, and we're like, oh yeah, remember Tony Hawk? We were skidding everywhere.
Right.
Oh man,
so true. Just real quick, I know we're off topic here, but what did you guys think of the control for Wave Break? That was I had a really hard time with the controls. I just felt like it didn't control well, and that was my biggest gripe with it. But what are your thoughts? Did you guys have similar experience, or were you okay with the controls?
Did you guys play it much, or is it just?
No,
I haven't played it.
I didn't play it a lot, but I played it enough to where, like, I know what you're saying about the controls. They're what I would call wonky a little bit here and there. They weren't horrible compared to some really horrible games I've played in my time, but it definitely could be better. It could be a little bit tighter. The camera wasn't always great. You kind of spin around when you're trying to do what you want to do, and then the controls for the grinding are just horrible. Like the reaction of the stick, you know, it has nothing to do with latency or anything. It's just literally the way they made it. It could have been better when it comes to that.
True. Okay, good.
Well,
I'm not the only one.
I've seen many YouTubers say like they were very good at like Tony Hawks and stuff like that in the past, and then they played Wave Break and they're just terrible at it.
Yeah.
And people like, spend your gym points, and he went, okay, I'll spend my gym points and I'll learn some, and then they're still terrible.
It's still, I tried that too. I thought if I upgraded the grinding and stuff, it would help, and it just didn't really help the control of it very much, and that's what kind of turned me off, and that's probably why people don't keep buying it and playing it. So
I hope they patch that game. Because Mar Chief was playing it, and he was running into a lot of bugs, and you see some videos people posting Reddit with like glitches running, like going through walls, and it's crazy. It's a decent game, and I feel like with a decent patch, it can fix a lot of things. But yeah, bummed out about that. That was actually one of my games that was really.
I was actually excited for that one also from the last Connect they had, the last announce they had. But yeah, I mean, a couple hours in, and I was pretty much done with it.
Yeah, same. So I want to move into we have 2 events happening this month. This July is going to be an awesome month for gaming in general, but Google is having 2 events. One being a smart home event, right? People are speculating that we're going to see a new Chromecast with Android support in that new Chromecast, and then we have a Stadia event July 14th. So I just want to look at those 2 events, talk about it, talk about like your expectations, what you're hoping to see, and just again get your feedback. So let's go to the July 8th event. What do you guys think we'll see there? Do you think we'll see the Chromecast unveiled with Android support? Do you feel like Google is going to bundle a controller with that Chromecast? Do you feel like they're going to push Stadia? What are your thoughts on the July 8th event?
I think that would be a brilliant idea if they did. Get more people interested in it. I think that's one of the biggest things is just people don't know if they need the controller or not, just because of the way they advertise it half the times.
Right.
People don't realize they can just use their PS4 controllers with their 6-year-old MacBook Mini or MacBook Air like I have.
Right.
And it works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But I think that bundling it in, either for the first month or so, just doing like a gift kind of thing. I think that would be an awesome idea.
Yeah.
I can see them dropping the Sabrina name. They're going to
Yeah.
You know, that's just a code name. They're not going to release it with Sabrina unless
Hopefully, yeah.
they bundle a controller and give her maybe a Sabrina edition controller with it.
Right.
Like
Right.
been like Blue Founders. But
Yeah.
I'm not expecting much from this apart from third parties saying all our products come with Google Assistant. That's all I'm expecting from this home automation.
Okay.
I mean, they did pull off the original Google Home from the market like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll announce a new flagship Google Home speaker. That I haven't seen any rumors about it. It would be really shocking.
Yeah.
But who knows about a stealth drop for that?
Yeah.
What would you want? Would you want more of a form factor, or would you want like a more of a bigger speaker? If you think about it,
I have the mini and the original. I really like the original. The sound quality is good, but then I just upgraded to the Nest Mini as opposed to the Google Home Mini, and the sound is so much more powerful on the second gen that it kind of eliminated the need for the Google Home speaker. So we'll see what they do, if they do it.
True. How about you?
Yeah,
Jared?
I mean, they're pretty much hitting the nail on the head. I think he's right. It's mostly probably going to be like a smart home product refresh on a lot of stuff. And I don't mess with a lot of the Google Home or the speaker things. I have a bunch of other setups I use in the house for that kind of stuff, but they need to do something with the Chromecast. I know some people have a lot of luck with the Chromecast Ultra, but I have horrible luck with my Chromecast Ultra, and I have good connection here. It works great for everything I do for the channel and personally, but that Chromecast Ultra, I have to fight that thing. Like where I go behind the TV and I'm punching it. And it gives me trouble. So I want to see them do something a lot better with that. And I agree that they need to bundle a controller, or they need to do something. Google has the money, just like console makers have the money.
Right.
You don't need to make money on hardware. You make money on games. So start giving some stuff away and grow that player base, and it'll get you a lot more than just trying to sell controllers for $70 and Chromecast for $69 or whatever.
Right.
I'd like to see them do more.
Right.
And I want to see them do like a 6 month or a 1 year pro. Like go all out. Just give somebody like a controller a year. You buy the new Chromecast and go have a ball. Something like that might work for them. But they need to grow the player base. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
The user interface doesn't interest me because I'm the one that likes the phone. I'm like, my phone and my Chromecast is perfect. I love streaming apps everywhere. My phone goes everywhere and I can do it.
Yeah.
So that user interface doesn't interest me.
You're one of those.
Yeah,
you love the phone. You love the phone. I hated it. As soon as I hooked it, I said, "This is it. I have to use my phone."
Yeah.
Like I was. Yeah.
And I used my phone with a Chromecast for like 4 or 5 years, and then I got an Android TV box, and I don't know, just having Android TV, the platform is just it's easier, it's more relaxing, it's less stressful than having to go on the phone. But I get it. I did the phone thing for a long time with my Chromecast.
The way I see it, if cloud gaming services come on native to TVs, instead of buying external hardware, I'll just buy a better TV. So I don't want to go forward buying new devices just to do exactly what I'm doing now with my phone.
Right.
So I'll show support. I'll show support for my Chromecast.
The way Google operates drives me insane, right? So they have an awesome product with Google with the Chromecast, and then they have an awesome product with Android TV. My thing is, why did it take them this long to merge both of them? So pretty much, I don't know if you guys have heard, but the new Sabrina Chromecast is gonna have Android TV built in. It's like, wow, like we've been all asking for this for ages. So it's pretty cool that that's gonna happen. But my thing is, I feel if they ever wanted to push Google Stadia as a home console, I feel like right now would be one of the best opportunities, right? By bundling. I mean, if they can put Sabrina, let's call it that, they can put Sabrina with a Chromecast controller in a box and call it a console and market, like design it, like market it with a good box, showcasing Stadia and showcasing the game. But they can do that because it's going to have Android TV, which then means Stadia is officially going to be available for Android TVs. And that's going to be a beautiful thing. I feel like this event can really benefit Stadia if Google takes advantage of it. But knowing Google,
It's
I
a big
highly
if.
doubt they will.
They're playing the long game with it,
Right.
that's for sure.
It's a big
Yeah.
if, but
Yeah.
Well, what they should do is when you boot up the Sabrina Chromecast, it should say Google selects and then shows you all the apps that Google recommends, and there should just be Stadia on like the first one, just to
Right.
say. And then even when it's doing an update, just show a video of like, oh, by the way, did you know you can jump into a game with
Right.
Stadia, and just push the narrative for like 2 months or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to your point, I mean, they've had this before with the Nexus TV
Oh my
back in the
goodness.
day.
Yeah.
And it just didn't gain enough traction. People were just so skeptical, and the Chromecast was just easier for more people to use.
Yeah.
So they stuck with that until people were more used to the smart displays and smartphones. I think that's my theory as to why they took like a 6-year break between the Nexus TV and
Yeah.
the coming back to fully supporting Android TV or
Yeah.
Google TV, as it looks like they're going to rebrand it.
Yeah. They have an opportunity here, man. Like that's what kind of make this situation frustrating. But again, knowing Google, they're not gonna do anything about it. It's just gonna be Chromecast with an Android TV built into it.
They got
No,
to start marketing Stadia like you were talking about, like a console and less like a streaming service.
Yeah.
Because their platform acts more like a console. Granted, it's in the cloud. It's a
Right.
closed ecosystem. It has its own exclusives. It mimics a console more than it does any other cloud gaming service.
Yeah.
And they need to market it that way, and they'll build a lot faster because there's millions of console gamers.
Yeah.
And, they want to game on a console more than cloud games. So even though it's still cloud, if they would put it out that way as more of a console, I think they'd do better.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be crafty. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think they're going to be crafty because it's a home automation and stuff like that. They're going to push it as a smart device for your home. And then in a few months when the new console is going to come out, they're going to support existing Android TVs with built-in Chromecasts. So they're sort of getting you to focus more on the smart device. And then they're going to push the narrative saying you don't need any hardware to play Stadia, and then they're going to patch Android TVs. That's what I think they're going to do.
Huh.
There's a problem with that. In 2015, Xbox fell on their face because they focused on being smart and being a TV and all of those other things before focusing on being a gaming machine. And it destroyed their takeoff for this generation. It's about to end. And I think if Google keeps looking at things like smart, it's a smart device and push it this way, you're not going to grab the gamers. Gamers don't care about a smart device. They want a gaming device, and you got to treat it as such.
But I think a lot of gamers are going to say, aren't they? Well, it's still a price point to get into Stadia, so why would I want that?
Right.
That's true.
So I think that's going to be a counter argument.
Well, having the Android TV box, I mean, basically telling people they can just use their existing controllers with it, because being Android TV, it's going to have Bluetooth capability. I mean, most likely, I don't see how they wouldn't have Bluetooth, especially if they're going to have a controller. And then just be able to pair up existing Xbox and PS4 controllers to it, play multiplayer games, not have to invest in a bunch of new controllers. I think that's going to be a good chance to grab people, and building it as a platform that way.
Yeah.
That's a good angle.
That is
especially if you can play Stadia, Shadow, and Geforce Now all on an NVIDIA Shield Pro TV.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that thing has fantastic upscaling, by the way, to 4K. I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but it would be great to have all that on one box. Yeah, that would help them out too.
See, if the new Chromecast did show support because Android TV for the other cloud services, I would go for the smallest form factor, and that would probably be the Chromecast, wouldn't it? I don't want other boxes to be floating around on the shelf. I'll just plug it into HDMI and don't worry about it.
Tell you what, Shadow works great on Android TV. I have a Xiaomi Mi box, and I just have a USB wireless keyboard and mouse that I just hook up to it, and treat it. It
It's
works
great.
like a own computer. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Shadow,
it is crazy.
man,
power at
Shadow's
all.
so awesome. Yeah, I love Shadow. I love
I knew as soon
Shadow.
as I said Shadow, everybody would start talking about Shadow because it's one of the things that grows my channel too. A lot of my
Oh my
subscribers came from
goodness.
my Shadow videos when I started those in March. So
Yeah.
definitely.
We'll
But
get to
last
Shadow
point.
in a bit. Go ahead. Yeah.
Last point about the show. If they
Yeah.
could sort of tease me by saying Stadia's coming to WebOS for LG tellies, maybe coming 2021, I'll be like, yes. Just saying it.
Oh
So
man.
you're no boxes and control it with your phone, so you have no extra remotes. I see where you're coming from. You want nothing actually, a TV and a phone, and you're done.
I've got a Sony Bravia TV, the Android TV, and it's got
It's built
Shadow.
in. Yeah.
It's got Shadow and Geforce. I just get an Xbox
awesome.
controller.
Yep.
Poof.
Now
Yeah,
they just need to get your Stadia and you're good to go.
just
That
that's
is
it.
awesome.
The only thing that I feel like is missing Shadow, I feel like it works on every single device except for one, and that would be a Roku. If you could get Shadow on a Roku
Oh,
somehow, I think that would be crazy. The platform.
not to knock Roku off, but people still use that.
I mean, the new TV that I just bought has Roku as the platform on it. So
Okay. I didn't know if they were still, because they were once, on top, but I didn't know. I haven't been following them much.
yeah, they took a big hit
really
about 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay. Huh.
Now, the only external box I bought was the Apple TV, and I was made up to see Shadow come to iOS devices.
Right.
And I was like, yes, that's great. Then Shadow dropped on the other TV, and then iTunes dropped as well. And I was like, oh, I don't really. So I need all these cloud services to come together on just
one
device.
Yeah.
Shadow works horrible on Apple TV for me, by the way. I mean, it works great on everything else I use it on, but I'm having a horrible time on Apple TV with it right now.
You have an NVIDIA Shield, right, Jerry?
Yes, I actually have another one on the way because mine kaputted me, but
did Shadow work good for you in there?
Yeah, and it would I could even like run it 1080p 60, and then like the Shadow Pro would upscale that to 4K on my 4K HDR TV, and it actually worked really well. It still works best on my PCs, honestly, and on my phone. My iPhone actually runs it extremely well. But it was running just fine on there. As soon as I get my new one in, I'm gonna start adding some videos about that too, and take some video using that on NVIDIA.
Yeah, when I run it on mine, it looks like crap. I don't know why. I was actually I was on Reddit trying to see if people had like a custom settings that can be helpful. But yeah, it just doesn't look, it looks grainy. It doesn't look crisp.
It happens to me sometimes. That's my problem with Apple TV is it gets really bad on that. But I mean, that's one of the big points about cloud gaming right now. And like, it was funny. He was talking about 11 years ago, they came with the future. I mean, we're still years away, in my opinion, from cloud gaming becoming like the main, like working for everyone. Because Shadow works for me on one device one way, and for you on the same device might work another way.
Right.
And there's just not a lot of continuity about how well the services work on different devices to get people to really be excited about it.
True. So let's move on to the July 14th Stadia event, right? What are y'all's expectations? What do you feel and think we're going to see here?
I think they're going to probably talk about Orcs Must Die again. I think that's going to, they just keep bringing that up and pushing it back. And I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to give us some hard dates on the EA games, because right now all they told us was fall. I haven't seen any dates, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm still waiting to see when Fallen Order, FIFA, and Madden are all coming to Stadia.
There's 5 coming, but they only announced 3 so far. So the other 2 hopefully will get announced as well. Yeah, they did, because I know they said that in the last Connect that 5 were coming, and they only announced 3, and we're like, wait a minute, you just said 5 and you showed 3.
I think they said 3 was coming this year, right?
Is that the case?
And 2 next year.
Yeah, they were very vague. They were very vague about like when they were releasing them. So that he's right. They should definitely come up with something for some dates.
Yeah.
Enough carrots in front of us that we chase. Like, when are we getting our games?
The other thing is that I'd like to see them do. So aren't they doing like a Tony Hawk remastered?
Yes.
For 1 and 2. I would love to see that come to Stadia, and I haven't seen any announcements for that. So They might do that.
Right now, it's exclusive to the Epic Game Store on PC.
Oh, it is?
Right, just for right now, as far as yeah. But I think it's timed. So, but yeah, I have it pre-ordered already, so I'll be ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So we might, just a heads up, we might actually have a guest who possibly can be dropping in any second now. Give me a second. Let me just pull this up. You guys might know of Sunny from the Cloud Gaming channel. He might be making an appearance here pretty soon. And there he is. Well, I don't see his screen, so I don't know if it's right. Anyway, let's just keep talking about this July event. So you're thinking EA, possibly.
Some hard dates for sure.
Okay.
If they can drop Origins Premier subscription coming soon, then I'll be happy with that. If they want to partner with EA on that one.
Do you think we'll see like EA? What's their streaming or their
Origins?
Origins? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that will make a way to Google Stadia? I know they're bringing it to Steam eventually.
I think
right?
Uplay Plus is going to be more likely to happen than Origins.
Yeah, that is true.
I think they're going to test the water, and then see for a few years by using other cloud services, and then sort of collect the data and then make their own one in a few years. But at the moment, I like the idea that they might give you a lease for a few years.
Yeah, I saw a rumor that EA is kind of wanting to get rid of Origin altogether, and that's why they're converting over to Steam. So if they do that, they'll be able to start putting their games in more spots as well. Yeah, because I don't know if they want to keep maintaining their own launcher and storefront when they can just use Steam and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what it looks like is going on, is they're going to wind down that service.
Cool. So welcome, Sunny.
What's up?
What's up, Sony?
What's going on?
You good, Sony?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been trying to get on here for like the last 20 minutes. You guys are like talking all this cool stuff, and I'm like, dang, I want to get in on this, man.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah, it's the cool kids club right here. How's it going?
Good. Welcome, dude. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're just talking about the July 14th Stadia event, talking about what we potentially might see. What's your take?
Oh man, so I've been saying that there's a lot riding on this thing here for Stadia. There's the next gen coming up. They really need to make a splash. Now, there's been the rumors about Apex Legends. There's been like all these things, and even in my own mind, I'm like, if they don't do something big, they're gonna be a little bit in trouble here with everything coming up. And I think that the biggest thing, somebody in my, I like to say this, somebody in my comments said this in one of my videos where they're just like, they just need to show us a screenshot of what they're working on in terms of their own titles. Like, we just need to see a picture. We need to see maybe some like drawings. We need to see something that's going on. We got to see something. We got to get some hype because they got to have something behind them. And as you guys know, games are what really sell things. And this Connect is going to have to bring the goods, or yeah, I'm gonna be pretty sad, and I'm gonna be pretty worried because I'm about to start branching, start covering some more stuff. Some Shadow. I'm gonna be with you guys here talking about all this other stuff because Stadia is looking like they're gonna be in trouble if they don't have something with this Connect. But that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think the fact that they announced it almost a month early, right, shows that they would. I feel like they're trying to build hype for it, and normally they just like drop a. I know they're saying we have a Connect in a week or two, but this one is they're taking their time with it. So I'm hoping that because the anticipation, the build up, that they have some stuff to show us. So again, there's a lot riding on this for sure, and hopefully we hear some pretty awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Well, I wouldn't give Google a backlash if they decided to show something that's in development and it's not going to be out for 2 years, because it works for Sony to tease a trailer and takes years to come out. So if Google just say, here is our upcoming exclusives coming soon, and just leave it at that, I'll accept that.
Oh yeah. Give people something to get excited about, right? Again, Sony's king. I mean, what game? How long ago did they show The Last of Us 2, right? And that game is just releasing this year. It's just insane. But it gets people excited. It lets them know this, great things in the future for the console, the platform. So yeah, that would not hurt at all. When it comes to exclusives, though, do you guys feel like we'll see any exclusives to the Stadia platform with this Connect?
I think it's time to do some serious exclusives, ones that are like maybe, I don't know, like I think Dirt 5 would have been a cool one to do that with, but that's pushed back. I mean, in any kind of game that's like a sequel of something that's new that's coming out, so not some indie game. I love indie games, don't get me wrong, but that's not going to build hype if you have timed exclusives for a game that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah, true. I feel the
Well,
same way.
it would have to be good, because if they did have the new grid, it's always going to be in comparison to Gran Turismo and Forza. And then if they ever create a first-person shooter, it's always going to be compared to the likes of other platforms, first-person shooters. So it's going to be hard for them. So I think they should just go for a big open world with hundreds of players in, maybe their own MMO.
Yeah, they need something big, and they need a lot of exclusives, because like we were talking about Stadia being more like a console. What happens to a console that doesn't have exclusives to make you buy it or buy in? It dies.
Right.
So they really, really need that. And don't forget, one we're not really going to probably bring up or talk about, but July 23rd is Xbox's E3 event, like their big event. We already had the PlayStation event, and not only will that drop a lot of excitement in games, they're probably going to talk a lot about Xcloud. So, and Xcloud will probably have all their exclusives that they're going to announce, and that will take over the news cycle big time. So if Stadia doesn't do something, they're going to get trampled over.
Yeah.
Xbox has like 17 studios working on exclusives, like at a minimum right now, and Stadia probably has like 3. I mean, they really got to crank something out, and they have the money to do it, but I just haven't seen them doing a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be kind of shocked if they actually do mention a lot of Xcloud with this thing, because I know that they're going to be upgrading those blades. But I know, wasn't there some rumors now that it is going to be part of the Gamepass? I think like at the moment it seems like it's just kind of being tacked on for now, that they're planning to go big with that whole Facebook thing and all that jazz. But it feels like right now they're just kind of making their way towards it. And I don't know if it's going to get a lot of news, but I am going to be paying quite a bit of attention to it here soon for sure.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on Xbox pretty soon, but I do think the move to put it on Game Pass is quite interesting. I think originally that was the plan, and I guess we'll get more into that in a little bit. But yeah, it's interesting for sure. But what else are you guys hoping to see with this July 14th Connect?
Just games. There needs to be games. That's it. I mean, people keep talking about features. I'm telling people, listen, they can put out all the jazz they want about all the cool, sweet looking features. Who cares if like there's no games to play the features on? Well, there needs to be games. It's that simple. So that's what I'm hoping to see, that there's just some really good showcase of some games, maybe things we haven't heard of. Like I said, I'm going to be doing that thing live. There's going to be people looking at my face and seeing disappointment if I don't see a ton of stuff happening. So
no, I have to show. I think we do need a lot of games, but I think there's like 3 more features that I'm waiting on, which is more state share, like Jerry was talking about.
Yeah, true.
More family share. I want to be able to play with my close family and friends and not have to keep having them buy new games constantly. That would be awesome, to be able to share with a handful of people.
Yeah.
And Android TV. I mean, those 3 right there, official support for Android TV. That's all I'm waiting for.
Yep.
Feature wise, I think other than that, the platform is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's time to roll out some games.
So I think something Google has done an excellent job with Stadia is just the stealth drop with features, right? I mean, we got the wireless phone support. They just stealth drop that, right? So it sounds like they're working in all these features. and they're just gonna. I mean, they dropped the free base Stadia model through. It was a stealth drop, no major announcement, just like, hey, it's now free. And so I think with features, that's what we might see going forward, right? When something's ready, when they're done cooking it, stealth drop. Oh, this feature is available. But I feel like with this presentation, again, when you have the whole press looking, it's time to bring out the big guns, right? Don't announce old features that we know is coming. If you have new features, here is the time to say, hey, Stadia is now going to be able to do this. Stadia is going to have RTX come, fall 2020.
I agree. Yep.
Like we're going to see, all those new features. We're going to see RTX. We're going to see what's the other one I was thinking about? Gen 2, right? We've heard about Stadia 2.0 being in the works. Let us know what that is going to look like. Let us know how powerful that's going to be compared to next gen consoles. I feel like this is the time to this is the E3 moment, and Microsoft is taking it. They're going to take it like it's E3. Sony definitely took it like it's E3. So come here blazing with like features if you're going to announce it that is so cool, and then games that's definitely going to get people talking. This is the time to do it, not anytime
Well,
else.
there's no backlash. Google needs to show gameplay of the games running on Stadia. No cinematic trailers. If they show cinematic trailers and don't show actual gameplay, they're going to start saying, "Oh, it's the Assassin's Creed again." Where's all the gameplay to run on Stadia?
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, even if stuff is a year, 2 years out, in the event, they need to at least show that giant splash screen of here's all the studios and games coming to Stadia. Like even if it says in the next 2 years or in the next year, so that people know, okay, if I get into Stadia now, it's coming. It's all going to happen. Like show a big thing, even if they can't say this is coming tomorrow. Put a lot of hype, like whatever you got on the books, just stick it in the show.
Sure.
Put a lot of hype in there.
Agreed, 100%.
And I think they're pairing it with like the Summer Game Fest too, right? It's not like off the YouTube channel. It's not like that bogus crap where they're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna do a Connect, right?" And then it ends up being a freaking video, and it's like, "Okay, cool, dudes. Thank you for that. Thank you guys for being amateurs." Like, and I think they know that. I think they know they're gonna be on a bigger stage. I mean, I can't wait to see those comments when the Stadia Connect's rolling off, but. I know there's going to be a lot of hate there, but I'm hoping that all those haters look at something and they see something like cool, smooth. I don't think features that are old. I don't want to hear about features that are old. I'm past that already. I think you nailed it, Ace, that we need to see if it needs to be new features. It needs to be like all that stuff needs to just be rolled down like they've been doing, which they've been doing a good job. We got to give them a little bit of props. They've been rolling out good features. They've been doing some good stuff.
Right.
But it just needs to be games. It needs to be a good showcase. And oh man, I am worried. I'm going to be nervous as all heck on that 14th, man. You guys are going to see it in my face. I'm going to be sitting there like, oh God, what's going to happen? Because, it's like, it's what I cover too. It's what I mostly cover. And it's definitely got my worry, so we'll see.
Yeah. I think this is, what's his name? Jeff Keighley's going to host it, which is a big deal. I mean, you don't bring someone with that, caliber to host your Connect if you don't have anything to show for it. I mean, that's the VMA dude, right? So so hopefully, fingers crossed, they bring in the big guns. I hope.
Well, I hope they say coming soon, because I don't want a backlash towards Stadia where they put coming 2021 with the Stadia logo, and it doesn't delay. And everyone's like, look at Cyberpunk, they can't even deliver games on their own platform. Just put coming soon.
Yeah. Jeez. I hope they've learned by now, right? They've had several months under the belt to see how this whole video game industry situation works, and so hopefully they know what they're doing by now, and they present us with a killer Connect, but hopefully.
Yeah, it needs to look less like a Nintendo Direct and more like an E3 event.
Nicely said. But with Nintendo's the only company that packs so many information in the Direct. I don't know how they do it, but
I love Nintendo. I've been a fan since I was like 6 years old, but as far as something like Stadia, they need something big, a Nintendo Direct look, because
Agreed.
like their last Connect reminded me of a Nintendo Direct, but not as
Yeah.
good, and
Yeah.
that's not good. So we got to see E3 level freak
but,
out.
But
I
you
think
have
an
to
announcement-
you have to be careful what you wish for, because you can have a big E3 and fill it with fluff, right?
With garbage, yeah.
Yeah, you see Microsoft bringing musicians to play. I mean, we don't want to see that, right? We want to see like a Sony, like just games after games after
Yeah.
games, instead of just like fluff after fluff. We want to see game like stuff.
Yep.
Anyway, but yeah, I agree. It needs to be big. It needs to be
Well,
big.
I think
me
something like
personally-
having a Uplay Plus add-on for like $2 more a month or something like that, and having an entire
my goodness,
library of
yeah.
games. I think that would be great, because then you get all these games that are already out there that people are already playing with cross save over into Stadia.
Right.
Something to that extent, I think, would be huge, because so many people that I know that are 100% console players or 100% PC players. That's the big thing. They don't want to have a tiny library on something that feels experimental, and having hundreds of games that you can just dive into without having to update, install, anything like that. I think that would be amazing.
That's a good point.
Well, me personally, I wouldn't mind this being more like an Nintendo Connect, because you can start saying, here's gameplay, smile, pre-order now, and play the demo. Stadia. I would like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's another one. Who was it? Jim or somebody uncovered that they have demos coming to Stadia soon.
Yeah.
Using their base code, that they need to announce that too. You don't have to buy a game to decide if you want to play it.
By the way,
EA Access has something similar. You get like 10 hours,
yeah.
that you can play or something. It doesn't have to be that long, but it would be cool if they did something.
Yeah. By the way, shout outs to Jim, man. He knows how to get in there, man, and rip all those informations out, man. He does a good job. If you guys haven't checked out his YouTube channel, do that. He's really good at what he does. So shout outs to him. Anything else for this Connect that you guys are hoping to see? Okay.
I think we just want games. I think everybody just wants games. It's just
Yeah.
we just want games.
Lots of games.
Oh,
Lots of games.
Lots of
the
games.
sports games have to play with other consoles, so can strengthen that bond where you can say, play with other consoles.
You mean
I
like
don't want to play
platform?
cross-play. I don't want to load up FIFA and I'm staring at a screen for 10 minutes just watching it load for a lobby. Give me cross-play.
Right. I agree.
Someone here was mentioned about Destiny and how hard that is now to find a game. Yeah.
Yep. During the free pro months, fine. No free pro months, not good.
Yeah.
I just jump back onto PC Steam or back onto my Xbox and I get a match in seconds. So
Right. I mean, just seeing what cross-platform did with the Division 2 and Stadia, that should be like the standard moving forward. It's needed for Stadia because this is a new platform right now. So cool. All right, I think we covered most of the Stadia news and stuff that we expecting to see with the events happening this month. Again, 2 of them. It's going to be quite interesting. So we're going to, if anyone else doesn't have anything to say, we're going to move into Geforce Now and talk about some of the news there. So I'm sure you guys saw last week, or probably 2 weeks ago, Square Enix making a comeback to the Geforce Now platform. I thought this was pretty cool. This gives me hope that, companies that left Activision Bethesda, that with this opt-in program, they're going to make their way back to the platform. And so just want to know what your thoughts are, if you guys follow the news with Square Enix coming back on Geforce Now.
Yeah.
So
what the heck? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off.
No bad.
Yeah, I mean, I've just like Ben, I've covered Geforce Now on my channel since it came out in February, and I've probably done a video on it at least once a week, every week since February, because every week it either lost games or something had happened to it. There's just a laundry list of things that happened its first couple of months. So I've stayed on that one pretty heavy. And finally, and it wasn't just Square Enix, the Long Dark came back right before that.
True.
And I didn't think they would come back at all. And then Square Enix came back with not all, but most of their games. And so I think with the opt-in, companies just want the choice, kind of like a kid, like they can say yes or no instead of NVIDIA just adding them from Steam or whatever. So yeah, we might see more come back. The weird thing is with cloud gaming is I don't know what kind of partnerships are starting to form out there. So like, will you see Warzone come back or any Call of Duties come back, or is Activision working more closely with Stadia and Google? Because that's one of the rumors that, that's why they're not going back. So it's hard to tell. And then that makes me worried that cloud gaming will become like streaming TV, where you need 800 services to play all the games you want to play. And I am not doing that. I already don't watch half the shows I used to watch because I'm not going to pay for all those.
Yeah.
So that's one of my big worries when it comes down to all these partnerships and everybody wanting to have a cloud service. I want like 2, 3, maybe 4 good cloud services. Everybody put your games there and let's go and cross-play everything.
Yeah. No, good point. If anyone else but I agree. It'll be nice, right? If we can just not have that division. And I do see this becoming that where companies are going to be paying for exclusive rights, or just having games come to the platform at first. I think people think I'm crazy for saying this, but when GTA 5 was pulled from Geforce Now, I think a big reason was because Sony, right? You saw that within a month or so, it was on PlayStation Now when they were making that push. So I think we're going to see some of this moving forward, where these companies are going to be paying for exclusive rights, which is a bummer because it's not good for the consumers, which is us.
Exactly. I prefer the games to be in as many places as possible to play.
Right.
And to be fair, they're just mimicking what the video streaming industry is doing. Like
Exactly.
HBO Max having all the Harry Potter movies and DC movies and pulling them from everywhere, and then Disney Plus taking all their stuff off from everything. So built a library.
Sucks.
Over the years you've seen Netflix just kind of start shrinking down, and then they had to start making their own content because everyone's just pulling. So we better make some content or we're not going to have a platform anymore.
It's true. I guess which can be a good thing, because that's when we'll start seeing exclusive matter, right? You see, I know Shadows is a virtual desktop in the cloud, if you want to call it that. So they're not going to make exclusive games, but it's going to be pretty interesting to see if NVIDIA gets into the market of creating like first party IPs. I don't know, but I think in order to stand a chance we're going to see Microsoft in the first party exclusives on Xcloud. We're going to see Google, right? They're working on theirs, and Sony, of course, whenever whatever they decide to do with PS Now, we'll see the exclusive. So how is GeForce Now going to compete with that? So it's going to be quite interesting to see for sure.
Well, on the Square Enix point, for me, I was excited to see it, but when I didn't see Final Fantasy or Octopath Traveler on there, I was like, oh, the big games are not coming, they've pulled it. And to me, supposedly Square Enix is going to release some new games in August, for future years. And if GeForce Now can't get them for day one, it's going to make me worry that, okay, developers are in, but only for back catalog games.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Really good point.
I mean, there is a benefit GeForce Now has, like you're going to get Cyberpunk 2077 on launch day available on there. So, and I believe that's either Steam or Epic, either one you buy it on, I think you'll have access through GeForce Now. That's going to be absolutely the cheapest way to play RTX Cyberpunk 2077. There's no other way you'll play it cheaper. Shadow, you would have to have the next package up, like the $29.99 a month deal. And nobody else even has RTX. So for $5 or $10 a month for GeForce Now, that's the only way you're going to do RTX.
Yeah, no, that's a really good deal. My thing is, why don't they bring 4K as well? It's crazy that service is still only just 1080p, right?
Well, even Stadia coming 1440p streaming did a lot for me because I game on a 1440p monitor, and that completely changed how it looked for me, how it played.
Hopefully we see that this fall. Yeah, go ahead.
Nvidia are going to planning to bring out their Series 3000 graphics cards. So
Yes.
maybe they'll wait for them to put them in the data centers, and then they're going to offer 4K 60. So to compete with Stadia blades, then Microsoft's got stacks full of Xbox Series S, Xbox Series One, isn't it, for 221? So maybe Nvidia is just waiting, and then in the fall for Cyberpunk, go, where's our new graphics card for GeForce Now?
It's a good point.
Yep.
It's a really good point. Okay. So anything else with Square Enix that we didn't cover? Holt, I think you hit it right in the head with just they brought back some games, right? But we still missing Near Automata's missing. We're missing the Final Fantasy franchise. I don't want this to be, like you were saying, a back catalog of games, because the hell wants that. We want to see same day release. Like, if are we going to see the Avengers come to GeForce Now day one, right? Stadia's going to get it, but are we going to get in GeForce Now day one? That's going to be quite interesting to see for sure.
One thing I like about GeForce Now with their opt-in is, I mean, just because I am pro have your game everywhere, especially if you buy it, you should be able to play it anywhere. The companies who don't opt in, it tells me a lot about them. If I buy your game on Steam or Epic and you don't opt in to allow me to play it on GeForce Now, it kind of tells me a little bit about your practices anyway.
Yeah, that is true.
I cover that a lot on the channel. I've gotten very mad at a lot of companies for pulling games that I paid for. I'm logging into Steam. I don't care if it's a virtual machine or not. I'm logging into my account and playing my game, and you want to tell me I can't? I just have a big issue with that.
Oh,
That
man.
is true.
I get it. I mean, my birthday in February, I decided to jump back into cloud gaming with GeForce Now in particular. That's what really brought me back. And I bought, I don't know, 5 or 6 games through Steam. Just a lot of the stuff that I'd missed over the last 5 or 10 years. And then, like, literally 2 days after I bought each game, they just started dropping. And I was so mad that I just quit using GeForce Now for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare and I was loving it. And the next day I was going to make a video on it for the channel, and I went to load it up and I looked like, what happened? So I started making news videos about them losing games instead of making gaming videos about it. So yeah, it was a rough couple of months of game losses for sure. That sucks to buy them and then like 2 days later you can't play them. That's the scary thing with those services.
Exactly. So
Now for me,
go ahead.
For me, I choose HDR plus ray tracing, then frame rate, and then resolution. But I know a lot of people care about resolution. So if GeForce Now can't up the messaging to say up to 4K, a lot of people are going to say, well, I am not going to play Cyberpunk on GeForce Now when I can play it on next-gen consoles or
4K. Yeah. No, I do think we're gonna see them make that 4K push come this fall. I'll be shocked and surprised if they don't, honestly speaking. Especially with how they're pushing Cyberpunk, right? They're gonna want to showcase that game to its best potential, and not having 4K is gonna cripple it. But I do see them getting 4K and pushing that this fall, for sure. So there's a new feature now. It's called Freestyle. Have you guys heard about that? Ben, I think you sent that link to
you
me
earlier today or yesterday.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, that's pretty cool. I know that with GeForce Now, I mean, when you look at Marchief's videos and he shows like different, how the coloring looks a little bit different from Stadia to GeForce Now to Shadow, and GeForce Now is like the warmest colors out of all of them, if I remember correctly. Having that freestyle, being able to cool down the color scheming a little bit, throw on an HDR layer on it, things like that. I think that's a pretty cool feature. I don't think it's necessary, but it makes it so you can customize it to your TV or your monitor and make it look better without having to tweak all your settings.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, it's not groundbreaking, but it doesn't hurt to have, right? So, yeah, I agree. I agree. There's nothing much to say about Freestyle, but just wanted to let you guys know that I don't know if it's available yet, but I know it's coming. It's just announced. But that's all the news that we have for GeForce Now. Do you guys have anything else going on for that I didn't mention here?
No, the only thing I wanted to mention was that I'm glad that they ended up doing what they did in terms of making companies opt in and really just getting rid of that negative press of, this game leaves the service.
Right.
And it made it more clear cut. And I think that was a really smart move. A lot of people were like, well, what the heck is that? But it's good to see that Square Enix did come back, just because, people were like, well, is it exclusivity with like Stadia or something? So good to see that wasn't really the case there. So, like I said, that was a really good job by GeForce Now. I really got to get back into it myself. But good job by them for sure.
Yeah. I think it takes the blame off of them now, right?
Yeah.
So people like always say, oh, NVIDIA GeForce Now is doing that. Kind of like what you were saying, Jerry. If, like a company that you support is not supporting the opt-in program, then you look at them a certain way now, because it's pretty much up to them to put the games on GeForce Now if they choose to. So
yeah, it switches the bad press. So NVIDIA is like, well, we'll let them.
Right.
But they won't do it. So yeah, it takes the eye off of them for sure. I think it was a great idea, and it makes it clear cut for everybody. They know what they can play. And of course, every Thursday we get the drop of games and the news, and we'll all be doing videos tomorrow and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Except for Stadia over here, who's hoping Stadia doesn't fail. Just kidding. But you'll be doing GeForce Now videos and Shadow videos in a few weeks.
Pretty much. We'll see. We'll see what happens on the 14th. It'll be like, oh, guys, I'm going to get off this stream. I got to start learning about Shadow a little bit, because this is looking pretty bad right now.
Oh, my God. Hopefully you're so busy making videos on so many games you can't keep up, but we'll see what they do.
I know. Yeah.
And Stadia does that, man. They just like 1 week can drop massive amounts of like news and games, and then the next 2 weeks just leave it dry. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's one thing I think GeForce Now is doing right as well. Everybody knows Thursday they're going to say something. Yeah. Like, now you get the free Epic games. That's one thing you didn't mention about GeForce Now. And you don't have to pay for that. You don't pay for an Epic Games account. You create it for free. You get 2 free games every single week. And sometimes they're really good. They gave away lots of great games. And
GTA 5 was
yeah. That's how I started testing GTA 5, was because they gave it away for free. And but now that they got past that, all free games will be available on GeForce Now day one every week, every Thursday. So that's more that they'll be getting.
Cool. So cool.
But GTA 5 free with Epic still not compatible with GeForce Now.
Exactly. They made that announcement after that game was free, so it's still not coming back to GeForce Now yet. But
out of all the games that I wanted, I'll just say GTA 5 with my free Epic, and never brought it. So I wonder, coming forward, is there going to be other free titles that they're going to say, well, it will come soon for GeForce Now?
Not yet. Right now, it's a guarantee every week, the free games. So if that affects what free games they offer, it could, like if a company will opt in. But Epic Games is real big right now that their new contracts for all their developers state that they opt into GeForce Now. Like they're supposed to support it. That's how much Epic believes in GeForce Now.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft as well. They're trying to make it to where all their developers must opt into GeForce Now. They want all their games on there. Yeah.
Which is good. It shows that GeForce Now is not. I mean, if Epic is back in GeForce Now, I mean, it's a positive sign for the platform. So it shows they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's good. So I want to move on to Xcloud. Again, not a lot of news here, but the biggest being that it's going to be a part of Gamepass now. And I think it was officially confirmed by Phil Harrison. Wait, Phil Spencer. They're mixed up, but yeah, he confirmed that that's going to be the case come this fall, and I saw this coming. I mean, if you really play Xcloud, you see it's most of the games on that platform are games that are already on Game Pass, right? So pretty much what they're stating is that Game Pass is Xcloud is going to allow you to stream your Game Pass games anywhere. And again, Microsoft, I've stated this multiple times, they're all about having the best service, right? It's all about, I believe, the service before consoles. with the Xbox original console, what stood out of that was Xbox Live, right? And Halo, really. But with Game Pass now, I feel like that's the bread and butter. That's what they're trying to push. And you see them with the whole play games anywhere situation where they're not too concerned about where you play your Xbox games. You can play on PC, you can play them in Xbox console. I feel like, again, they really don't care about hardware, and software is key. So Game Pass, I feel like, is the bread and butter, and they're gonna try to push that. So by including Xcloud and giving you that option to play your Game Pass game anywhere, it's a win. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge because this means you're gonna get Halo Infinite same day release, and you can play it pretty much anywhere on any platform. It's a different approach from Google Stadia and Geforce Now, but this I feel like is the Netflix for games that people have been dreaming about. But yeah, what's your take on this, y'all?
I'll jump in. So I think this is really good. And there was some people who I was hearing were really doubting this. They were like, no, there's no way. And like you said, Ace, I saw this coming.
Yeah.
It's just too good not to do it because really you're going to get a lot of people trying cloud gaming in general. It's because it's going to be free. They're going to be able to play it on their phones. They're going to be able to experience their gaming on a different level, and you're going to be kind of indoctrinating all these people who are console players, and they're going to be testing something out that they've never tested before. The sad part is that though they're going to be testing it on those crappy Xbox One S's, right? But outside of that, though, I mean, it's going to be. I think it was a really smart move, and I'm glad to have seen it because there's just so many games with Game Pass. I mean, it's the one thing that I have outside of Stadia, and it's for my little brother, and he downloads a ton of games. He uses the crap out of it, and then now the ability to have Xcloud on there is just it's excellent. Really good job. I'm glad to see that, and I'm honestly hoping that they start to take it more serious. Though I really want to see. I know they said they're going to upgrade the hardware. I saw that tweet. They're going to try to get to the Xbox One X. That doesn't excite me either. I'm just like, come on, that's not. I mean, how much better is it going to run? It doesn't run good for me at all. It's terrible. I don't know why I can't get Xcloud to work at all for whatever reason. Yeah. But either way, like there's some good games on there, and I'm curious to see how this is going to look. I hope that somehow it improves come launch. I'm guessing some time in the next couple months, and just see how it goes. But I was glad to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have something else to say, but I just want people on the panel to give the input for sure. What are y'all thoughts so far on Xcloud and Game Pass?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what he's saying as well. And it's probably going to launch around the time of the console launch because I think they're going to change their Game Pass to include Xcloud when they do launch the consoles. And Game Pass, especially Game Pass Ultimate, which includes PC and console, is literally probably the best deal you can get when it comes to gaming and what games you can play. And I've had it since they launched it. And them adding the Xcloud to it, it's a no-brainer. And they're not going to, from what I understand, the price isn't going to go up. They're just going to add Xcloud to it. Yep. And from what I understand, you're still going to have the option to either use your new Xbox Series X that comes out or your One X as a server to stream your games even better to you if you didn't want to use one of their servers or if it was closer. So there's going to be a lot of options there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
No, my experience with Xcloud's been positive. I've played a few genres. I've played like Devil May Cry, Tekken 7, Gears of War, and it's worked. But I'm not really a fast-paced gamer to notice like that much latency.
Yeah.
And going forward, I'm going to hold off until 2021 until they get the upgraded system in place, and then I'll be playing Halo Infinite on whatever device I've got ready for Xcloud.
Nice. How about you, Ben? Any thoughts on Xcloud?
That's pretty much the one cloud gaming solution that I've really kind of stayed out of.
Yeah.
Amazon to me is interesting, but I think Xcloud, if they can make it work well, because I've heard a lot of criticism from my friends, if they can make it work well, I think it might be king. But right now, it sounds like it's got a lot of glitches.
Yeah.
Right here.
It's the opposite of Stadia. They have the games and not the tech. Stadia has the tech and not the games. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of how it feels anyway.
Yeah. So I discovered a solution. So I'll be honest, Xcloud runs like trash. I'm just gonna be, if Microsoft ever watches this, just it's a terrible service. I'm just sending you right on. It lags like crazy. They do have the games, but trying to play Gears of War 5 on there, it's miserable. I just went back to playing it on my PC, trying to play Forza Horizon 4 on there, miserable. Just the latency so bad. So I found a solution though, right? So I got the what is Gamepass Ultimate, right? And I use Shadow, right? So
Yeah.
I install my Xbox games on Shadow and I use that to play them. So first of all, with Xcloud, you still limited to 720p. No matter, you can only play on phones right now, but the highest resolution you can play Xcloud on is 720p. But if you move it to Shadow, and you download, pretty much you get the PC port of those games on Xcloud, you can then play it, 1080p until it looks better. There's no latency, and you can play it on pretty much any device. You can play it on your TV. You can play. It is the best way to experience Xcloud, hands down.
Nice.
So it's not actual xCloud, is it? It's actually Play Anywhere games plus
Right.
With Shadow.
Gamepass Ultimate. It's not xCloud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Because
the
Shadow's
better-
streaming those Xbox games better than XCloud right now, so they got to fix
Yeah.
that issue too. But
Oh yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Jerry brought up a good point too. I like that you mentioned that how it has the games, but it doesn't run well, and that's such a good point too.
It
Because
is.
what's going to end up happening is a lot of these people are going to try this crappy, and I actually hope that they don't even bother with it until they upgrade,
Right.
everything. And even then, I'm worried about how it's going to work. But there's going to be a lot of people, they're going to try this out, and it's like, oh yeah, we got all these games and we don't have to download them. Sweet, right? But every time I play, I'm seeing the little latency bar at the bottom. I can't play. Like, it doesn't matter if you have Madden or all
Yeah.
these excellent games.
Right.
If everything is like skipping and it's
Yeah.
terrible. And by the way, I'm one of those people. I've said this a million times already. I don't know if you guys never heard of it. I had to be convinced by Ace to even get into cloud gaming.
Yeah.
There's going to be a ton of people who are about to try xCloud, right? And they're going to be like,
Right.
what's this cloud gaming crap? And then they're going to get those crappy Xbox One X servers running on their stuff, and they're gonna be like, "What is this crap? It's latency.
Yeah.
This cloud gaming's garbage. I'm never gonna try cloud gaming again." They might end up doing more damage in a lot of people's minds here in a little bit if they don't upgrade that crap.
That is true.
Yeah.
Is it because you guys are not near this data center or something?
Maybe.
Because I'm sure there's data centers going to be in the pipeline similar to Google's data centers. They've got to be. So
But if you
And I
go
hope
ahead. Oh,
I hope that that kind of puts a little bit of fear in me, Sonny, with the whole thing about it taken away from people. I hope that that's not like some conspiracy theory, evil strategy for just kill all the other cloud platforms by trading a crappy one that nobody wants to use and just
Yeah,
them all others.
exactly. You guys see how bad cloud gaming is? It's terrible. You guys you got to buy our console every couple of years, okay?
that is true, actually. Good point with that.
I hope that's not what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, they can
No,
they can always sell it to Facebook, couldn't they? Always sell xCloud to Facebook. You have the service as well.
I can see that
Face
happening.
Cloud.
But I like how Xbox has announced that they got Play and Click. So on Facebook and Instagram, they've also done what Google do: click this link and drop straight into a game. So that's going to be a feature for xCloud as well.
I saw that. Yeah,
Yep.
I saw that.
Everybody's going to be doing that. I think they're going to be like
Yeah.
joining up with a streaming service and doing that kind of quick join,
Right.
click a link, interact with your audience kind of thing.
So you can have a Play and Click with Facebook, and then you can have a Play and Click with like YouTube. So it's big, huge medias. So I wonder what people are going to choose. So it's going to be
That's
marketing
true.
that's going to get people into cloud gaming.
That is true. It's gonna be competitive for sure. It's gonna be. That's like the new console war, if you want to call it that. Like all these big platforms, streaming platforms, and streaming services. It's gonna be crazy.
I think everybody's just still trying to get them to work
True. Yeah.
for the most part. Just getting them to work consistently But from my experience, GeForce Now and Shadow are my two favorite out of all that I've tried as far as streaming games.
And I guess we can. It's good that you brought that up. That I was gonna have a little segment with that, but based on your experience, all you guys here in the panel, which cloud gaming platforms or services do you prefer out of all that you've tried and tested?
I think Stadia by far to me, like,
Mhm.
and I'll preface this with I play on the Chromecast. To me, Stadia on Chromecast with the Chromecast control or with the Stadia controller is what works, is what plays the smoothest.
Yeah.
I feel like I have the best experience on that, but I like the customization. I like being able to use Shadow to play literally any game, and just be able to go click buy and play,
Yeah.
and it doesn't take forever.
Yeah.
So.
If I have to choose one by adding the pros and cons of each service, it will be Stadia. You know, having that just a bit more expensive than GeForce Now, but having up to 4K 60 with the upcoming 4 games with features, that wins for me. I mean, I'm not saying Shadow's next, but the tiers that I want are a bit more expensive in comparison. That's like saying comparing a console to a PC. Of course, you're gonna get more the more money you throw at it.
Right.
So,
Right. How about you, Sonny?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of choices for me. I was waiting for you to start the Shadow segment so I could just dip the heck out of here at that point. But no, I don't hate Shadow at all. My problem with Shadow is like they don't have a data center here. So, and then I hear the mess that they're having. So I haven't been able to try it. It's obviously this one's easy for me. And like I said, I had to be convinced to get even into cloud gaming. Period. Ace did that for me a year ago at this time. I want to say a month. So about 13 months ago, him and I were talking about this, and we were like cloud game, and I was laughing at him. I'm like, dude, get out of here, right?
So
then I started. So we talked about it. He convinced me. I started trying all of these, and really, like, Stadia easily just blew it away for me. GeForce Now, I've gotten to play quite a bit in the last 6 months. It's great. Their UI drives me nuts. The fact that I can't find which game I can play drives me nuts. It runs great, runs good on the phones, on my phone, runs great. GeForce, it runs decent, but it's not as good as Stadia, and that is where it is for me because it's great that like GeForce Now has a lot more games, but then a lot of times a lot of the games I can't find. And when it comes down to cloud gaming, for me as a guy who's used to be in PC gaming, is it what works the best? What makes me believe that I'm not actually on the cloud? That's Stadia, and it's not even close. That said, I haven't tried Shadow, but I feel like it's not going to be as good just because I know for a fact they don't have it here. That's already been a thing for me. So,
yeah, I agree. Wait, someone's gonna say something.
Well, I can't help it because like as a PC builder, because that's the biggest thing I've always done is building PCs and going crazy, and I'm like a tech nerd for everything. So the thing about Shadow is I play it at 144 FPS. So you're not doing that with any other cloud service right now. And for me, being a high refresh rate player, like I can even go on and play Call of Duty right now at 144 FPS if I want to. And that's variable refresh rate with my variable refresh rate monitor, and it looks gorgeous. And you can't do that with anything else. So that's why for me, like Shadow would kind of be my first one because you can do any resolution on the planet. You can create any custom, any frame rate, anything you want, and it'll run variable refresh and do all that stuff. Right. You can forward your Yeti mic to it. You can do all kinds of stuff that you can't do with anything else. So that would be my first one. But when it comes to tech for just cloud gaming, not a cloud PC, Stadia's got the tech, but I don't use it other than for the channel because they don't have enough for me. I've played every game that's on there. Like when it released, I had already played all those games on other platforms. I killed Assassin's Creed Odyssey on my Xbox. I killed The Division 2 on my PC. Like by the time those games came out, I was already done. So if Stadia grows the library, they've got the tech right now to beat everybody. as far as the quality of the stream and the gameplay. But Shadow, you are not going to beat that. Even 240 hertz. You want to go that route? I got a 240 hertz monitor. I can go hook to and go nuts, and it works. It works fantastic with all that variable refresh rate.
Does Shadow support ultra wide and super wide? Yeah, monitors.
Not yet. They are getting there because of the power of the CPU and GPU, and there is issues with their CPUs. But having that is just pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing that Shadow is missing for me is being able to dual screens with it.
Yeah, it doesn't have that yet either.
It's stuck to just one screen.
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool feature that they could add that would kind of make you feel like you have an actual gaming PC running on your laptop and your TV, having dual monitors like that. That would make it feel more like a real computer.
Right. I think out of all the services I have to explain, like on my channel in the community, like a lot of the questions I get besides PC stuff is like, what is Shadow? Or how does it work? Or is it a PC? Is it a cloud gaming? And I have to like really explain, like, it's basically a PC. You treat it like a PC, you update it yourself, you maintain it yourself, you install and update your games yourself, you do all that. But there are a lot of benefits to it. But if you just want to click and play like Stadia, go Stadia or go Geforce Now or something. If you don't want to bother with a PC, don't bother with Shadow.
Nicely put. And that is my issue with Shadow. Just it's not consistent, like a game can work. It's just like a PC. You have issues with it, and you have to make sure you update it. I mean, trying to log in from my phone to my computer is like always an update. It's just, and it's not consistent. Like, for instance, I was playing the Fallen Jedi, whatever it's called, and it worked for me. And then I had to go put the kid down, try to open again, did not work. My Shadow was completely shut down.
Right, it won't restart up again. Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? I can't even play a game.
Usually if you go into your little setting, little question mark up there, and you click that, and it'll take you to another menu with a red shutdown. If you go in there and click that red shutdown and restart your PC, 9 times out of 10 your Shadow will come back up.
I know, but you see that though. Like it's like a PC where
that's what I mean. Like, it's not approachable for everyone. I love it. Like when it says I have to update or it doesn't work, I'm like, yes, I get to fix it. Like that's what I want to do, because like I'm like, I just redid my Windows 10 installation and redid my whole PC today before we did all this, just because one thing didn't work right. I was like, this will be fun. Like, I'm one of those guys that will just like reinstall Windows for the fun over the weekend.
And that excited you? Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. So with cloud gaming, it's great, but I would build and fix PCs every single day if I could. But
oh man, kudos to you, man. Like me personally,
so Shadow's fun for some PC builder like me.
Jeez, I just want to get right into my game. Like
for people that just want a game, don't go Shadow. If you just want a game, don't go Shadow.
I do have to say though, Shadow has a lot of perks and a lot of advantages. I want to know, Jared, what tier do you have?
I have Boost right now. Then I'm on the list. I have two accounts. My second account is waiting for an upgrade. They told me hopefully this summer I can get the next. I'm going to get an RTX one to compare to that one, just for the heck of it. But that's what I have. Right now, all my testing on the channel is Boost.
So Boost is working pretty well for you.
I haven't had any trouble. I had one laptop that it completely wouldn't work on. But other than that, I haven't really had any problem with it whatsoever. Yeah. I know a lot of people do though, and I think it depends on where you live. I'm like 4 hours away from my data center, so my data center is in New York, and I'm in New Jersey, and I could drive there. Like it's not. I'm really close. My ping is 1 millisecond.
Right. If you look at Marchief's comparison, one thing I like about Shadow is I think it performs better than, except from certain games that, for instance, when he compared Control with the RTX. If you run the game with RTX, go Geforce Now, because the Boost with Shadow does not support RTX. You have to go to the higher tier. So if you again trying to get that done, do Shadow.
That's where I was saying Geforce Now gets you your cheapest RTX. Right now, if that's something that you really want to experience and you can't afford the graphics card or something.
Right. But for me personally, when it comes to just the best experience when it comes to cloud gaming, I would have to say hands down is Stadia. Stadia, to me personally, I feel like it's the most reliable, most consistent. If I'm playing, I can put the kid down, pick up, my phone with my controller, open up NBA 2K, and I would say about 90% of the time is going to boot up, no issue, able to get my gameplay, put it down, and that's it. With Shadow, there's a risk of, is it going to boot up? Is it going to kick me off? Is it going to freeze? I keep running to freezing issues. GeForce Now is not as bad as Shadow, but it's pretty similar with consistency. It's not as consistent. So that's why if I have a game on Shadow, GeForce Now, and Stadia, I most of the time just play it on Stadia because of how, first of all, easy it is to get into. Second, how reliable it is when you're playing. So I would say Stadia for me too.
Now,
Sure.
here in the UK, I can't get access to Ultimate and Infinite until next year. So
Yeah, I heard.
I've only got Boost. So all these fall games that are coming out, I will only have access to 1080 if I chose to play on Shadow, which is with next gen. It's like it's a
Yeah,
long wait for Shadow with all these issues as well.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
with consoles releasing with ray tracing and everything else, it's going to make it more mainstream. And services like Shadow are going to have to be playing catch up really hard.
True.
Even Stadia, because ray tracing is going to become a big deal. I've been doing it since I got my RTX 2060 over a year ago, and it's awesome. I mean, not very many games support it, but when you do get it working right, it's amazing, and it's going to become the thing.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. I
Yeah.
mean, we did a control video where you see with it on and off.
It's
and night
insane.
and day, night
Yeah.
and day. It's crazy.
Now this is not Shadow's fault, but the components that they're using are going to be outdated soon. So I think they should move each tier down a section, the components.
Exactly.
So
That's
have Ultimate
I
as
agree.
Boost, and then have a fancier one for Infinite, and say, here you go.
You,
This is
you,
us going forward the next 2 years.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
hit it
they're
right
going to
on the
have
head.
to.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So let's move into Shadow. Again, not a lot to cover here, just the fact that Infinite and Ultra, they mentioned in the news report that should be releasing in the US this summer. And I don't know if pre-orders is still open, but just if y'all are looking for that, just know they said it should be coming soon, and they'll let people know when that's released. But that's all for Shadow, pretty much.
I
There's
mean,
really
on
none.
Reddit, there's been a few people who were expecting their builds in June, and due to the situation we're in, it's been delayed. So they're saying till the end of July, but depending on logistics and how they build it and all that, it could get pushed back further. So maybe they should drop some incentives to customers who've already paid their first month and offer a free month on top.
That's true.
Now that actually did happen for me on my second account, because my first Shadow I got on March 13th, the day they released the new packages, and mine was activated and ready to go 3 days later. But then we went into lockdown mode and everything changed. So I signed up for my next one the beginning of April, and I didn't get that till the end of May. And they did give me I only paid 1 month for 2. So I don't know if that's something they're just quietly doing here and there, but I did have that experience happen with them. So I'm just holding on to that account for an upgrade as soon as I can.
That's pretty cool.
Which is just for the channel. I wouldn't have it for me personally. So I don't use it to game really, but I have it to test for the channel.
Cool. Yeah, again, not a lot to cover with Shadow. And when we do hear news, I definitely will try to cover it on the channel, and I'm sure Jerry, you would too.
Oh, yeah. It's not a big deal, but one other thing they did announce that's out right now is iOS keyboard and mouse support Bluetooth is started up in beta right now. So that's going to be coming out soon.
And you covered that in your last Shadow video, right?
Yeah.
Shadow news vid. Yeah, it's a big deal. And I would say this. The other thing I love about Shadow is the fact that it's the most, what's the word I'm looking for? You can pretty much play it on the most devices, I would say, right? They support iOS, right? They support Android TV. They support iPhone, Android phones. They pretty much are everywhere. PCs, MacBook. So that's the benefit to owning Shadow. And again, Chief did a video where you can, use Shadow on an iPhone to play Stadia if you really wanted to.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did that, and Geforce Now and PlayStation Now. I use Shadow to play all those on my phone when I'm away. Actually,
Exactly.
And
The benefit of it for sure.
Yeah.
With Shadow being so adopted on loads of devices, do you think they're going to drop their Ghost hardware or even consider bringing another version of it out next year?
So it sounds like the Ghost is actually really popular. And it just whenever they do news, it's always back ordered. And people are still not getting the ones that they ordered. So it seems like it's selling pretty well for them, and it seems like there's a demand for it. So that tells me that they'll continue to make it. I know here in the States, they are not even shipping it out here anymore because from what I heard, they didn't have enough units to ship.
Oh.
But yeah, people are wanting it.
It's not expensive either at $99. And from my understanding, talking with other people that cover Shadow, it literally is still the best way. Like it works even better. So if you like set that on your desk with like a high refresh rate monitor and a keyboard and a mouse and a controller, you're done. You don't need a PC or another device or anything. You can have like a whole setup running at a high frame rate, and it supposedly works really well. But like you said, they're hard to get. I'm waiting to get mine so I can have it on the channel, but it's going to take forever. I'll be lucky to get one this year.
Yeah, it's so back ordered. But yeah. So any of you guys want to add anything more to Shadow? I think we've covered most of it. Nothing really new or exciting happening for it right now.
It seems like every company either has to bring the games or bring the tech. There's not like Stadia needs games, they've got the tech. Shadow needs to fix some of the tech, but they have all the games.
All the
and You know, it's just like each service has either one side or the other seems to be lacking.
Yeah.
If somebody pulls off both really well, they're going to get ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to throw this, I guess like the last thing, what are your thoughts about Sony potentially getting in the cloud gaming game?
I think that they've given up on that, I feel.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well,
no.
they've had the longest, haven't they? I think they've had the longest, implementation of the service PlayStation Now. And they don't even say stuff like, when PlayStation Now first came out, all I wanted was to buy stuff off the PlayStation Network from maybe first party and play it on PlayStation Now. Sort of what Xbox is doing. And that's all I wanted. So if Sony could come in and say, here's PlayStation Now with PlayStation Plus merged together, and any game you buy on the PlayStation Network can be accessible through PlayStation Now, that will make me interested in PlayStation Now going forward.
Okay.
But they would have to offer something similar to what Microsoft's doing. And with Sony, they're making them physical numbers up on their hardware. So with them making them huge 100 million numbers, I don't think they're going to be interested in cloud yet. Maybe in 5-7 years.
So with the slogan, play has no limit for PS5, what do you think that is trying to say to us?
They're just trying to be cute.
Yeah, you gotta have something. You gotta have something when you're launching a new console. And I think if anything, they would be touting that super SSD. They want to keep touting that, in open worlds, everything's just going to be loaded in so fast all the time that you have no limits. And but so is Xbox, and so do PCs and everything else too. But we got to see. But I think it's probably more about how fast they're talking about the system being able to just like no loading.
Okay.
I'm surprised they never put an asterisk. Play has no limit. Only if developers port, only if developers optimize, only if this, and just have all these
breakdown.
Terms, conditions.
Experience may vary per developer.
Yeah. And per internet connection. Yeah.
So there's a multi-screen leak. I don't know if you guys saw that, for like a patent that for the PlayStation 5, where you should be able to play the PlayStation 5 like on multiple screens. I don't know. Did y'all see that?
I didn't see that.
Okay.
No, I saw it as well, but I didn't know what to. Multi-screen could be like, what do you start with the PlayStation Vita, and you can sort of connect to your PlayStation 4. That's what I was assuming it's going to be. You sort of just download the app on your phone and it connects directly to your PlayStation 5 in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have something going here with this slogan. I know I might be reading too far into this, but so, I don't think Sony's dumb. I think they see where Google Stadia is heading. I know they see, Microsoft gearing up for Xcloud, to compete. And we've heard rumors, right, that they're teaming up with Microsoft to use their, infrastructure.
Absolutely,
I
they have a
mean,
contract to use Azure.
yeah. So we
You think
haven't.
PlayStation is doing like a Steam Link kind of scenario where you can play your games anywhere, but they have to run physically on your PlayStation first?
That's what I
Maybe
assumed.
they kind of did that with remote play, but I know you're kind of tethered with that. But I I I do see them taking like a full. I see them revamping PlayStation Now to make it. Maybe they might call it PlayStation Now 2.0 or whatever. But I do think they're gonna offer a killer cloud gaming service with PlayStation Now. I think they're gonna update it. I think they're gonna use the Azure infrastructure. I think they're gonna price it right, start bringing the first party studio and stop this 3 months nonsense that they have where a game comes for 3 months and leaves. I think they're gonna be aggressive with the PlayStation Now. That's my hope, but they might not have.
PlayStation has the exclusives, and
They
I
do.
think they would be maybe not as soon as like, because we have Game Pass and stuff. I think it'll be similar to that, but it might be a year or two.
Right.
But they're definitely working on something. And one thing that outnumbers console players is PC players. And if you can put your exclusives on PC, whether they're streamed or installed, you're going to sell a ton more games. So I think they are working on something for that.
Yeah.
We're getting Horizon this summer, New Dawn.
We
that
are.
it?
We are.
Yeah. So that's a little experiment PC sales kind of thing right there. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Yeah,
Just-
they're gonna get in the game somehow. I fully expect them
Yeah.
to eventually figure something out. There's no way they're gonna sit on the sidelines while you got to remember too. It's like what that Xbox dude said. Cloud gaming's kind of the future. I forget what his quote was, but I'm pretty sure PlayStation's paying attention. They're gonna do something. They're slow right now. I'm literally just got myself a PlayStation controller. I'm gonna be testing out now and seeing how bad it is. It's been a while, but they do have some work to do. They got some catching up, but they have the games. They have those exclusives that really can make a difference if they can get it working.
Right.
And they're not to be slept on, in my opinion.
Right. So this is the multi-screen feature thing that they had a pattern for, but I don't know if this states anything. But this is actually kind of interesting. You see here, has a screen down here, has a screen here. I don't know what this all means.
That looks
but
a lot more like the streaming platform they were talking about incorporating into the PS5 that I stopped hearing about.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean by streaming?
Like how on your PC you have streaming software like Streamlabs or something. PlayStation was talking about incorporating their own first-party streaming software to stream easier from your console. And I don't know if that might have anything to do with it because I see the HUD, I see the layout in there. It looks like it might be something like that, but it's hard to tell. If it was more than one monitor, like more than one screen, that would be like a phone or something. Like he was saying, like you're not going to run dual monitors because you're going to crush your performance. I mean, even with a PC, if you run more than one monitor and you try to game on like 4K or 1440p on one and then put something on the other one, your game suffers tremendously because it's trying to throw two pictures out. So I don't think they'd be talking about any dual monitor or dual TV stuff.
Okay.
Unless they're trying to be sarcastic, where it's like you want to play on another screen, just plug another HDMI cable in.
Just go for it. Ultra wide 265-inch HDR TVs.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. All right, I think that wraps it up though. We've covered all of the cloud gaming services and platform. We had some awesome guests here on the panel. And just to give you guys a heads up, we're actually thinking about moving to Saturdays. And the cool thing about that is we have other people that we talking to that possibly wants to be a part of this panel. So again, this panel is about cloud gaming as a whole, right? It's not just geared toward one single platform. We want to bring people on here who knows a lot about cloud gaming. So I can't say too much about the other members of the panel, but just know that there might be more people coming on here, and I think it'll be good to get other people's perspective when it comes to cloud gaming. But I appreciate you guys being here, man. We had some awesome discussions, so thank you.
Definitely, for sure.
Definitely,
Yeah.
it's been fun.
Yep.
Yeah. So appreciate you guys viewing too. Thank you guys. I know we didn't read the comments, but we appreciate you guys, and I will read them afterwards. But again, appreciate you guys being here.
This is I want to say real quick, this is an awesome panel. You guys are really, really awesome. You guys are knowledgeable. You're good looking dudes as well. That helps. That always helps. And I'm excited to see where this podcast goes here in the future.
Yeah.
That's
really
awesome.
excited. Really excited. All right, fellas. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next podcast.
Thanks a lot. See you guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.